to the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guest is Super Dave Hudson. Woo! Dave's in the house. Okay. Broker, owner of Super Realty Group.
Yes, sir.
President of the Philadelphia Metropolitan Board of Realists.
Yes, PMBR.
So,
yes.
There you go. A big title, right?
Yes.
So why don't we start off the show by just finding out who you are, how'd you get started in real estate?
Okay, so who am I? All right, one time in band camp. All right, I know, I'm corny. I got many more corny jokes to go on. So currently I'm one of the largest black-owned brokerages, non-franchise in the city of Philadelphia. I get to supervise about 40 plus super friends, I call them, agents. And I've been doing this for over 7 years. So before this, I was with a company called Prudential Fox and Roach in Berkshire for 3 years before that. And before that, for 5 years, I was with the multiple listing service Trend. So I used to work there. So I'm familiar with a lot of people in the real estate industry. And even before that, way back when I got the name Super Dave, I used to work in psychology, which is crazy. And I make this bad joke. So I'm gonna just start off with a really bad joke. So I used to train staff on how to deal with children and families with emotional behavioral disorders. Now, as a broker of record, I train agents on how to deal with children and families with emotional behavioral disorders. So yes, we very interesting dynamics, and so now I'm here. And it's been a fun ride. So where do we start?
Okay, so your primary book of business, are you dealing with buyers and sellers, mostly sellers? What does that look like?
Let's say we do I was almost half and half. I would say both half buyers, half sellers. A lot of first-time home buyers. The office is located in West Philly, 64th and Vine Street, and we do about 40% in Philadelphia, 40% in Delaware County, and 20% other. And I say it's a nice mix of people. Yeah.
Okay, and with this market today, I mean, there's a lot of changes. We have the NAR proposed settlement coming down the road. We don't know 100% how that's going to turn out.
Right.
But we have that obstacle. We have low transactions, higher interest rates, things like that. Affordability is really tough. You mentioned first-time home buyers, which is an issue. So what are you seeing in the market in general? And we're going to be talking about Philadelphia and probably Delaware County, because that's where you say most of your book of business.
Yes.
So what does that look like now? What conversations are you having with buyers and sellers? What are their concerns? What's going on as far as that's concerned?
So a lot of people are waiting, and they're waiting for either interest rates to go back down, for the settlement to be over, because there's rumors they're unsure of what's happening in the market, or they're waiting for prices to adjust. And we're constantly promoting and pushing. Do not wait. It's only going to get worse from our viewpoint. We look at the Philadelphia market, and I know I'm not going to get too localized, but doing statistics, 25,000 people are moving to the city or this area, this metropolitan area, every year. So anyone can look that up on Census Bureau or anything else. So as our city grows, because we have some of the best universities and hospitals in the world, that's supply and demand. We have low inventory. So the longer you wait, the more difficult it will be to purchase a house. So it's a good time to sell. Yes, I would say yes. It's not as crazy as it was a little while ago during the COVID period, but it's a great time to sell. But as for buying, buy now, buy soon, buy what you can, because you will have limited options.
Right. And then the housing prices just keep on going up year over year. I mean, heck, if you started from the COVID years to now, real estate's gone up, 40, 50%. Real estate is local, so it's a little bit different everywhere. But even national statistics last year the properties appreciated 5%. So if you're waiting, properties are just, continue going up in value.
Yes.
So that's an issue. So that is really good advice.
And what we see is, and I'm just using round numbers, but on average, I've seen average property values increase about $10,000 every year for the past 10 years. So I'm talking about properties pretty much between 2 and 400,000, so more affordable homes. And I've also seen rents increase an average of $100 per year for the past 10 years. So rents will go up, property values will go up, and some people will be priced out. So it's very important to make a move. Buy soon, buy now, do not wait. And for those that are waiting for the perfect time, there is no perfect time. But keep in mind, if you bought a house or property 5 years ago, that property should have increased in value by now, and it's definitely worth it.
Right. Okay, so now let me ask you this question. So when you're talking to, let's say, a seller, is any of the NAR conversation coming up? Has anybody said, hey, I heard I don't have to pay a commission or any of that? Or is that still not entering into the conversation as of yet?
Good question. For sellers, even if I explain to sellers, they still traditionally, for those who have sold houses in the past or familiar with the system, they want to continue for now to provide both commissions for the buyer side and the seller side at this time for now, because it's hard for us to justify and them to justify only to maybe pay one side. Again, it's totally up to the seller, but the seller wants to, get as much exposure as possible, and they don't want to. Again, this is in theory. They don't want to feel that their exposure may be limited because they're not offering it to certain individuals.
Right. And you mentioned that you deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, and that marketplace just doesn't have the money. So if you're in a first-time home buyer market, well, heck, that market, people were giving out seller assists to help people get into homes, those kind of things. So, yeah, without question, if a seller isn't offering money, then it's going to dramatically limit the exposure and potentially the amount of money you make. Because, hey, if I pay somebody a $5,000 commission, but if I make $10,000 more on the property, it's well worth it.
Right.
Because it's, that makes sense. Now, let me ask you this question. You said you have, 40 plus agents. What are your agents telling you? What kind of education are you doing in reference with dealing with, the changes coming about? And, really, what are they asking? Are they getting nervous? Are they worried? What does that look like?
It's two perspectives. There's two conversations rather. There's a conversation when I'm giving updates and giving a meeting as a broker and saying, hey, right now, until something officially changes, we're going to conduct business as is. But there are rumors that there's other conversations that some people have concerns, in a sense where some people who are traditionally love working with buyers and work with buyers, they're like, well, how do I ensure that I get paid when maybe a large percent of our first-time home buyers do not have the resources for a down payment and a commission or repairs or inspection. And this could be, you can easily get over $10,000 to $15,000 for first-time home buyer just buying a $200,000 to $300,000 property. So, but we're standing still right now. But our culture, our office culture at the lease, is to continue to do business, and hopefully we will continue to support other agents and get as much exposure as possible. So it's one of those things where we're not sure yet. We don't want to say, hey, everybody just jump to be listing agents, because there's rumors that as a listing agent, you would have to ensure that you have a fiduciary right to ensure that the buyer is also treated fairly if you're only representing the seller. However, I said this before and I say it again, if I'm in any court of law, I want my own lawyer.
Right.
I just want my own. I don't want to share your lawyer. I mean, your lawyer might be a great person, but I just want my own representation, and I want someone who I can really attach to, for lack of a better term.
Okay. So now let me ask you this question. With transactions, last year, transactions were approximately 4 million nationwide, and we haven't seen those levels since 2008, and then before that, in 1992. So historic low transactions. What are you doing, and what are you telling your team as far as to survive and going forward? Is there any secret sauce, or is there anything that you guys are doing or conversations you're having how to stay relevant in the market?
Yes. So to stay relevant in the market, you have to understand and know your market. We're based out of West Philadelphia. And the reason our other large percentage of businesses is in Delaware County, because a lot of people are moving from West Philadelphia out towards Delaware County because the city is growing. We identify who our target audience are and what type of marketing or advertising do they respond to. Believe it or not, Philadelphia still responds to a lot of paper products and phone calls and face-to-face. So, I mean, internet presence is still big on a national level, but as for just local, if they see you, we do a lot of community events. I'm there. I wear a cape. I have Superman shirts, and for some reason, I draw a lot of attention. And I'm good at it. At least that's what my therapist says. But, but by doing this and understanding the culture, you know, people want to build that relationship with you. So my advice is to go out there, be visible, be seen, and not just on the internet.
Right. Okay. So from what I just heard is making the phone calls,
Yep.
meeting people,
Yep.
being out there, let everybody know that you are a real estate agent, not a secret agent, right?
Right. And also providing some type of service. Yes, so people know that I'm in real estate, but when I meet people, I'm asking, you know, those traditional questions forward, where, you know, family, occupation, recreation and dreams, or I'm just having general conversation. I'm building relationships because 1 minute we're talking real estate, the next minute we may be talking sports cars or whatever the case might be. So I'm building those relationships, and the number one source of business is referrals. So that's why I go after.
Okay, perfect. So really key, because this goes out to about 4,000 agents out there. So key is relationships, letting people know what you do, add value, right?
Yes.
Have those conversations,
Definitely.
be an expert. I heard that. Really know your community, understand that. And guess what? There's the telephone. Picking it up and actually making a phone call,
Yes.
you know, all the internet, all AI, all that stuff. There's no substitute of picking up the phone, actually making a phone call and having a conversation with somebody.
Yes.
And meeting with people, right?
Yes, you have to meet, you have to have the conversation, you have to ask for the business. Okay, a lot of people, some of my agents sometimes get frustrated when they hear the stories like, hey, guess what? Did you hear that one of my closest friends or one of my closest family members used another real estate agent? And then when I called them, they said, oh, I forgot. And in some cases, they may have forgot. Some cases, they may not have forgot. But you want to make sure that you remind people that you're in a business and you're open to new business. Sometimes if you look too busy, they're like, oh, this person's too busy for me. I'm not going to bother them. So you want to announce that you're open for business.
Okay, great. So once again, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or find out more about your company, because I'm sure you're recruiting, you're always adding more people.
Yes.
How do they do that?
Yes, we need more superheroes.
Right.
So come drop by at our office at 308 North 64th Street. It's in West Philadelphia at 64th and Vine, where someone's there most of the day during day hours. And if it's a busy month, we're there all night also. But stop by. You can reach us on Facebook, Super Realty Group, Instagram, Super Realty Group Philly. My Instagram is Super Dave Philly. I think it's super _ Dave _ Philly. I'm old school, so I don't know. Or you can call us at the office at 215-474-7741. So we're on all platforms, and we're always looking for superheroes. So if you have any questions or just want to fly around and or just see what it feels like to wear a cape and see a phone booth, or old school phone booth, come check us out.
Okay. Well, Dave, thanks a lot for sharing some of your insights. And that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe. I have great guests on the show. Super Dave right over here, right? And be sure to leave a comment. Tell me some things that you like, you don't like, and most importantly, tell me some topics you'd like me to cover in the future. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.